friends and individuals. I am Shan Kyza Rebarbas, and today we are going to tackle some topics that are related to science, technology, society, and its integration or connection to education. We all know that education is one of the most important sectors in our society. Its role is to develop individuals, which are the students, to their fullest potentials in order to attain their goals and their future ambitions and professions. Education helps the people to be more knowledgeable about topics from the different subject areas being taught and discussed. Thus, education helps in shaping our society into a better one for the future generations. Furthermore, education can be achieved more effectively and efficiently with the use of science and technology. The integration of science and technology to education can improve performance in learning and can give assurance that teaching and learning are attainable whenever and wherever the teachers and students are. Now, here are the topics that we should discuss today. Quite a lot, right? But let's dig deep into it. What is the role of science and technology to the society and education? The role of science and technology to the society is to introduce concepts and knowledge which can be used in making different innovations or technologies that can improve people's ways of living. This can also be connected to education because science and technology can be taught through educating the students about newly found knowledge which will be applied in the different areas of life. Also, science and technology can help the teachers through integrating these two to their instructional process, which will help the students of the 21st century learn better. For the students' perspective, science and technology can help them access information and learning materials quickly through browsing online portals, which will give them convenience. What are the impacts or the pros and cons of science and technology in the educational sector? Let's go to the pros first. Number 1. Surely, science and technology excite young students, especially those who are tech-savvy. This excitement can increase their motivation to learn and be attentive during their classes. Number 2. It prepares them for the future. Since we are in the modern age, we utilize technology every day in whatever we do. If we expose them with knowledge about the different technologies and how to use them, they can function well in their work and workplaces in the future. Number 3, it invigorates the students' curiosity and interests. Science and technology can be a great way on investigating the topics that interest the students' young minds. They can watch YouTube videos or read some research-based journals about the topics that invoke their curiosities and help them gain more knowledge about it. And number 4, technology can improve the teacher's delivery of the lessons. For sure, when the teachers include videos or educational games to their discussions, it will help gain the students' attention and they can learn more about the lesson. Now, for the cons. Number 1, technology causes distractions. Technological advancement in education can be distracting too. Whenever we are at our classes, there are times that we can't resist to look for the notifications on our social media sites or even the messages from our loved ones. Number 2, technology can promote isolation and disconnection. When we are flooded with things from the online world, there will be some instances that these things disconnect us from our real-life friends, family, and situations. This can affect the students' social and emotional development. Number 3, technology can discourage creativity. Since every technology is programmed now, we can sometimes just answer our assignments and quizzes through browsing the web to search for answers in just a short span of time, which discourages creativity and assessment for one's own capabilities on answering such tasks. Number 4, technology can be a lot of work for teachers. Teachers, especially from the older generations, can have a hard time on setting up different technologies inside the classroom. That is why they need to work and learn a lot in order to catch up on what's new for learning. How does the integration of science and technology affect the people and the environment? 1. It saves time and can give convenience. Number 2. If not properly managed well, then it can cause pollution to the environment. Number 3. Science and technology can help preserve and protect the environment through science investigatory projects or school-based researches, which will be used for such objective. Number 4. ICT integration to education can improve learning and teaching. As individuals, both teachers and students, what are the ways on how we can utilize technology in terms of environmental and societal aspect? Number 1. For instance, when we do some experiments in a science laboratory, we should dispose the waste carefully and prevent them to be littered anywhere. Number 2. When we are finished using the computers inside the computer laboratory, we should switch the computers and the lights off before coming out of the laboratory. Number 3. After we use the bathroom, we should ensure that the faucets are all closed and the lights are turned off to conserve water and electricity. Number 4. The schools, especially the teachers, should implement some policies and rules to provide awareness on how to use the different technologies inside their campuses. What are the challenges that we encounter when we integrate technology in teaching and learning? The challenges that both teachers and learners may have encountered right now are the insufficient resources, lack of teachers that specializes in technology, maintenance and technical problems, and security and privacy problems. In addition, students misusing the technology and them being distracted are part of the challenges as well. Keeping up with the changes in this technology or yet at times can be challenging too. And now, let's go to the exciting part, the second part of my video. In this portion, I will be showing you the perspectives of a teacher and a student regarding to the questions that I have shown you a while ago. The interviews that I'm about to show you will include their thoughts about science, technology, and society, and its integration to education. So now, shall we start? In 3, 2, 1, go!
So for science, it provides us with different realistic application that can help society and even for students. For example, such as legends, myths that are incorrect. With science, it can be proven that there are scientific evidences that can help prove or anything that can correct any wrong paniniwala na ma-update yung society, yung mga bata na there are correct information regarding certain legends or tinatawag natin na mga pamahiin that is incorrect. And in education naman, science provide what we call same sa sinabi ko kanina sa it updates and give information and what we call evidences. Also, improvement of what we call the knowledge of the students regarding different aspects. As we all know, science is a very broad subject. There are different what we call branches of science. Then by doing that, so students can now develop and specify what are their different targets or specification that they'd like to focus on.
Science and technology plays a vital role in our society, especially in the field of education. It gives us a variety of technology and gadgets that aids us in the learning process, such as a television or laptop in a classroom that the teachers use to present lessons in a more appealing and attractive manner. An internet where nowadays showed its great value as this lets us learn, interact, and communicate amidst the distance that is brought by this pandemic. In general, science and technology contributed a lot for the betterment in the learning and education of students.
In education sector, for education, science is also very important for some of the what they call this one advancement of different technology, how teaching can be improved with the use of technology, with different machines, gadgets, what we call with the use of technology and science. Teaching is now more interactive. Some topics before are very difficult to elaborate to our students, but nowadays with innovation brings from technology and science, now it can be more elaborated, emphasized, or what we call miniaturized, detail by detail information that is because to science and technology.
As I have observed, there are a number of positive and negative impact that science and technology bring us, but let me state the most salient point. Let me first start with the pros of it. Science and technology makes the students' lives easier, less time-consuming, and flexible. For instance, in our situation today, wherein face-to-face learning is not an option as a result of COVID-19, we students still have the opportunity and time to still continue our studies despite the distance and hindrances. Also, science and technology gives us a number of technology and gadgets that aids us in learning, such as computers, television, printer, and etc. On the other hand, the cons of it are science and technology oftentimes teaches people, especially students, to be lazy, unproductive, and unfocused.
It affects in a positive way, like I said from the first question, Shan. It brings us with the enlightenment of information because most especially tayo mga Pilipino, marami tayong mga pamahiin. May marami tayong mga paniniwala na medyo mahirap ipaliwanag. But with the science, it gives us what we call, same as before, enlightenment, information that maybe our paniniwala is wrong. And with science, now it has become a factual information that can provide the evidences that there are some of our what we call mga paniniwala or pamahiin is incorrect. Of course, as we all go with the progression and improvement, of course, for the student side, maybe because of technology nowadays, some of the features of the school is not being utilized anymore, such as library, such as what we call mga information learning center. So those are now being neglected just because of the advancement of technology. Nowadays, any questions that you'd like, you can just ask Mr. Google. And for society, of course, like what I've said before, improvement brings also negative effects because of the what we call the waste material, chemicals. That is, if not properly be disposed or properly be what we call it one, tamang tapon ng mga chemicals that being used in experimentation in science, then it becomes very hazardous to individuals.
In my perspective, technology affects people and environment more than we imagine. Yes, it has a number of positive and negative impacts, but what balance it all is the way how people use and manipulate technology.
So in technology, me as the teaching one of subject that uses technology, there are many ways to use. Of course, the most important one is let the students manipulate. Or there's first option is to introduce a certain technology, familiarize with them, then let them hands-on with the technology that can be used for their application. Ideally, it's supposed to be, it should be 1:1. That is the mandate of the department that I am in BSED. Pero in reality, because the lack of equipment, so it is what we call alternation. So the next one, you have to return that one because another section will use it. So ideally, it's supposed to be 1:1. So for the familiarization and yung magamay talaga ng estudyante kung paano gamitin ang technology. So that you can not be left behind with our from private school or any countries that are very progressive in using technology.
Yes, of course. Science and technology can be a bit challenging and overwhelming for us humans. The best way to utilize science and technology in the aspect of environment, society, and learning lies on the ability and capability of the people to manage the product of science and technology properly and use it in moderation at all times.
The challenges is what we call lack of equipment that students can use. I think those are only, and of course, when we say technology, it involves also the connection to our internet. And in our island, we have what we call very slow connection of internet. So that is only the one. And of course, when we say students also to capability to what we call the time, yung panahon na Google niya, kasi meron tayong mga estudyante, hindi naman natin mapagkailayan na meron talagang mga estudyante na nagtatrabaho habang nag-aaral. So those are beyond our control. So those lang, yun lang yung panahon ng bata, yung ating capacity sa internet, at of course yung lack of equipment natin na magiging one-on-one ang paggamit sana ng mga bata.
Some of the technology that I've been using for my studies are my laptop and my phone, and these two gadgets needs an internet connection to keep going, and as we all know, internet connection are oftentimes poor because of different reasons. In addition, we oftentimes hear the phrase "full storage na jud ko ay" in our class, and that is one of the challenges that we encounter while using technology in learning. Phones and laptops have its storage limits that oftentimes impedes and hinder us from learning.
Wow, that's quite a lot to handle, right? But hopefully it gave you enlightenment about the importance, impacts, and uses of science and technology and how these things affect us, people, and the environment. To ensure that you've learned something throughout the whole video, can you provide at least one impact of technology integration to education, and how does this one impact